Hey everyone! So today's topic is on the vague myth of fluency. There's the stereotype of English literature majors being able to speak well when asked to participate in class, or as they say, bullshit eloquently. Enough to convince the general and professional public that just by speaking continuously and with intentional pausing, long sentences, and deliberate emphasis, we can get away with saying anything convincingly. What kind of person do you think speaks fluently? Maybe your teacher, the colleague who only shares ideas when the boss is around, the video essayist that you like, people who seem to speak without a clear script, who confidently, sometimes overconfidently, like AI, tell you what you should think. Learning to speak a foreign language is like learning how to walk, but everyone has already learned how to run, except you. In many ways, the goal of learning language can be split into two schools of thought that I've observed. Number one, to be able to use the language to do daily tasks and socialize. Number two, to know the grammar, sentence structure, vocabulary, basically the features of the language. Whether or not English is your first language, having fluency is almost like a game of perception. How natural you sound, how confident your delivery, how wide your vocabulary can indicate fluency, but it is also a vibe check for people's perception of one's knowledge, social ability, and desirability. When in fact, the pace of your speech, your accent, and your cadence all make up the unique soul that is your voice. I wanted to make this video because the highly coveted idea of fluency seems to have become more important than the content of one's speech. People buy into words that are produced effortlessly because the ability to produce sounds and conjectures is now more prized than the ability to present the depth of your thinking. We are so impressed by a person and sometimes a machine's capability to sound like they know what they're talking about, with a lack of logic and based on pure rhetoric. It's not that I think speaking fluently demonstrates your superficiality. I'm speaking relatively fluently. However, how many things have you nodded at someone's saying because they're saying it with conviction? They're talking with the appearance of critical thought without the thinking. Let's say a person is trying to convince you that the earth is flat. Example: there are a billion ways that I could possibly explain to you plebeians why the earth is in fact flat, because each of you is unable to harness the expansive imagination of your mind's eye. You become obsessed with the pseudo-experts who have come to brainwash and indoctrinate you into the world of science, a long-established institution made up of the secret society of government agents that utilize our collective ignorance to spread their ill-concealed mistruths, propelling us towards an era of which the deep state will threaten to consume us all. Let's ask ourselves a few questions about this rant. 1. Am I saying that I have secret knowledge? Yes. Do I think that you and I have the same secret knowledge? No. Am I saying that you should also know this secret knowledge? Yes. Do I think that the government and science institutions are hiding secret knowledge from us? Yes. Did I explain what is the deep state? No. And I would recommend that you don't look into that. Did I give any evidence to prove why the earth is flat? No. Did I give vague or specific information? Vague. How can you tell when fluency is used to hide inaccuracy or foolishness? Number 1, when a person uses a lot of hyperbolic language and jargon without much elaboration on what their point is. Let's take a look. Billion, expensive, brainwash, indoctrinate, mistruths, deep state, threaten to consume. These are all very hyperbolic, and jargon, if we can even call it that. Deep state, a word or a term that is supposedly very technical, or you and I may not share the knowledge of what it is. This may be used to hide inaccuracy or exaggerate. Number 2, when a person responds to a fact by giving a very long explanation that makes it sound conspiratorial or insinuating that you are stupid. The word plebeians, obsessed, collective ignorance. This person wants you to know that you are stupid. I can talk about this subject matter for a very long and elaborate time in a way that you will be unable to. Well, I was curious about what other people thought about fluency, so of course I went on Reddit. On the r/language learning subreddit, there was a thread titled, "Stop getting hung up on fluent, it's a ruse." The user Conversation Legal 809's main point is to question what constitutes fluency, giving the example of someone's proper grammar and sentence structure to be a sign of a non-native speaker. Seems like people find literacy to be so uncommon that to be good at English has become less aspirational and more laughable. You can't communicate with the masses if you're so proper with your English. For teaching purposes, I was being sarcastic. Even the idea of proper English is loaded with Eurocentric ideals about sounding Western and considers other dialects of English, especially non-Western ones, to be below that standard. Anyway, as I quote then, further, what is a true measure of fluency? Is it eloquence, or is it relatable dialogue that is quickly constructed and reciprocated without delay? I would argue the latter, and I used to believe the former. I dug further and found this other subreddit thread titled, "Do you consider B2 fluent?" User MTNBCN responds with a link to a resource we love, that the CEFR, known as the Common European Framework of Reference for Languages, quoting a part of their response. People conflate, confuse, mix up, fluency and strong command of a language / expertise all the dang time. Fluency has a root in flow, currents like the water of a river. Is it stagnant, slow, interrupted, or is it flowing, rushing downstream? Fluency is only one of many, like dozens and dozens of different aspects of language mastery. It refers to the ability of words to continue flowing out of your mouth. It isn't concerned with vocabulary, listening skills, creative writing, technical vocab, verb tenses, moods, idioms, expressions, sentence structure. It's just concerned with how easily you speak. I went further into reading the CEFR resource linked to find out what they have to say about fluency. Here's a quote. "Finally, saying anything requires fluency. Fluency is generally understood in two complementary ways. Firstly, in a holistic way, representing the speaker/signer's ability to articulate a possibly complex message. The more holistic usage is reflected in statements like, 'She's an articulate speaker,' or 'His Russian is very fluent,' and implies an ability to talk/sign at length with appropriate things to say in a wide range of contexts. In a narrower, more technical interpretation, talking/signing at length implies a lack of distraction through breaks and long pauses in the flow. Putting fluency under pragmatic competence cuts across the traditional competence performance dichotomy used by linguists since Chomsky. As was mentioned in discussing the CEFR model, the CEFR does not continue that tradition. The view taken is that in an action-oriented approach, competence exists only in action. All this to say that the academic, linguistic, institutional definitions of fluency all come from different places of understanding, some more rigorous than others. If you're at the end of this video, then I hope it is an example that with both fluency and substance, you may just get people to continue listening to you for more than 5 minutes. Otherwise, I still think that fluency is a shorthand marketing to get people to understand you. It has its place, but it shouldn't substitute meaningfulness. Peace. I also teach online English classes, whether you want to learn more about public speaking, business speak, how to hold daily conversations, literary analysis. I can help to achieve your learning goals. The first trial class is always free, and you can find out more information on my website here, samzhengworks.com. See you soon. Bye.